for Parks.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Communications is one of the most fundamental building blocks of what it means to be a human. For those who live in the cities where you might have hundreds of neighbours in the same building, there are many ways and means of reaching out, for sending a message or for calling for help. But for those in the bush, for those across the huge electorate of Parks, and for many Australians in other parts of the country that are not centred around a capital city, communications is a huge challenge. For someone who has chest pains on a property outside Wilcannia or who breaks down out the back of Burke, there are no neighbours. Sadly, this is where telecommunications continue to let regional people down. In this lucky country, this country of opportunity and innovation, the people who produce our food and fibre and the minerals, the people who work hard and look after the land, cannot make a simple phone call. There are times when business owners in Gilgandra must walk out into the streets to allow their customers to pay with a credit card. There are times when people running businesses from their regional home cannot log on to finalise transactions, cannot lodge their business activity statements, and cannot fill in necessary employment or government forms. People cannot coordinate logistics, use modern GPS tools or check on their loved ones. When emergencies strike, regional people are often on their own. They cannot connect to 000, and if they can, the failure of technology often critically adds time to the location needed during an emergency. Sadly, this is not hypothetical. People have died. Deputy Speaker, this goes beyond inconvenience. It goes to the very core of what it is to connect with others, to be part of the lives of your family and friends, to be able to run your business in a professional way and to know that you are safe in all situations. Regional Australians do not ask for something that any person in any other country does not expect. I've heard from people across the Parks electorate about the problems and the lack of reliable telecommunications are causing them every single day. Some of these stories are tragic. Others show that once again regional Australians faced almost insurmountable challenges just to open a business and to fulfil their dreams to serve those in their communities. As recently as last week, I held a network connectivity roundtable in Walgett, where the frustrations of farmers who have struggled for years to find reliable telecommunications was abundantly clear. They have trusted in the advice they've received and purchased expensive plans, expensive handsets, expensive equipment, only to find out that it's out of date, it's not fit for purpose, or it just doesn't work. We continue to hear about exciting new technology, but time after time it's followed by all the reasons it won't work in regional Australia or wouldn't be accessible to ordinary Australians. Regional Australians have had enough of announcements and enough of promises. They just need reliable telecommunications. It is time for moves in this direction to get real. We need practical, reliable and affordable solutions that work for all Australians. As we look at this bill, we must look at it through the lens of this government's track record, through its poor performance in making telecommunications work. Let's not forget the wonder that was the 3G shutdown. The 3G shutdown leaving people isolated. People were forced into updating their phones, some unnecessarily, and businesses were left without connection and without support. This was a planned event, an outcome that was chosen. It was surrounded by confusion and absolute failure. The trust of regional Australians has been lost. I know myself that on my travels around the electorate, connection is sparse and often non-existent. Many people have been forced into using expensive Starlink, causing concerns of only having one real supplier being available. Deputy Speaker, under the Universal Outdoor Mobile Obligation Bill, there is some impressive sounding jargon. Let's take a look at it. This is, it says, a significant and important reform that will bring mobile services within the Universal Service Framework. The Universal Outdoor Mobile Obligation will require the national mobile network operators, currently Telstra Limited, Optus Mobile Proprietary Limited and TPG Telecom Limited, to deliver baseline outdoor coverage across Australia. It sounds good, but I have a number of concerns with this. One is that there is quite a lot of talk of direct-to-device technology here, delivering over low-orbit satellite platforms. I'm reliably informed that this technology may not be readily available to fully roll out in the timeline that has been allocated. That's a pretty epic fail. This shady reminder of Labor's unachievable net zero target. I'm also concerned about one element of this technology you still cannot call 000. Currently, the technology allows satellite to messaging capability. You cannot message 000. Another epic fail. We are legislating here, Deputy Speaker, ahead of this technology actually being in use or even being fully developed. I quote again, currently SMS services are available in a number of countries on certain handsets, including in Australia, and voice services are expected to follow. Further along, we have a caveat that makes even more nonsense of this bill. The bill includes the power of the minister to determine circumstances when it would be reasonable to make mobile coverage available. In one short document, we've gone from universal coverage to coverage if the technology is invented, to coverage if the technology is invented, providing you have the right handsets, to coverage if the technology is invented, you have the right handset, and the minister thinks it's a good idea. Is it any wonder this Labor government has lost the trust of those in regional Australia, many of whom are trying to run a business? Businesses and families with one. Many of whom are trying to run a business and families with one hand tied behind their back and the other up in the air trying to get signal. Regional Australia is our backbone. Again, it's where we grow our food and fibre and harvest our minerals. It is what sets us apart from other countries. Yes, it presents challenges. Isn't it time we told regional Australians that we are up for the challenge? We value everything you are to our country. Isn't it time we stop switching off technology without knowing the full impact and before something that works is in place? Isn't it time we invested a little of our nation in connecting Australia wherever you might live? We cannot continue to focus all of the government's time and Australians' money in the cities alone. We are all Australians and we all deserve to be able to connect with our loved ones and to do the business the best way that we possibly can. And we all deserve to be able to reach out and find help in those times of most need.